what do your eyes and ears see in front of you? They see the same world as it's always been. Yes, sometimes...
More floods, water's rising.
But you know what? Floods do come and go. And floods have been here forever. It's in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how much of that is global warming? My view would be some. There are souped up conditions that create more or blah, blah, blah. But, like, we were going apoplectic here in California for a very long time because it never rained. And then what happened this year? Mm-hmm. It fucking rained until the people here were saying, good God, would it stop raining?
A lot of you probably know Bill Maher is big on climate change. He lives in LA, he's outspoken about it, and he's always talked about its importance. But things got heated when Kathy Griffin joined him on the Club Random podcast. As usual, when someone sitting across from Maher goes too far, he pushes back. And that's exactly what happened here. Griffin became increasingly emotional and extreme about climate change, and Maher had to step in and shut her down, calling out the irrationality of her argument. It was one of those classic moments where Maher silences a woke guest for taking things too far. Let's dive into this clip of Bill Maher putting Kathy Griffin in her place on Real Time.
I am being sort of humorous, but not kidding, when I say I now give the planet 7 years. I used to be like 30.
Right.
Then, how do you see us keeping up this pace, and for how long?
It's so interesting you put it that way, because it sounds to me like what they've always said since I've lived out here about earthquakes.
Right.
Which is like, oh, the big one is coming.
The fault.
And the big one is coming.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Well, climate change is not the big one.
No, I'm talking
This
about
is the slow roll.
I'm talking about an earthquake.
Yeah.
I'm just making an analogy because I thought it was interesting the way you put it. And I have had that feeling since I moved here about the earthquakes, which is, okay, you keep saying we're due, and then we're really due. And in the last 10 years, going back almost 10 years, I remember people saying, maybe not in so many words, but letting the people who kind of could read between the lines know this is going to come in the next 10 years. And now we're almost up to that 10-year point when I heard that.
Yeah.
So, like, it's the same thing with global warming and the destruction of the planet environmentally. Is it going to happen? Yes, I believe it is too. 7 years? Probably not, but possibly. Like, we're spinning the wheel on it. It could be 7, or it could be 70, or it could be never, because they figure out how to fucking foil it.
Yeah.
Or maybe they were, I mean, look, they're not always right about, I wish they would stop predicting environmental repercussions, because they've done it a lot and it hasn't happened.
When talking to liberals like Kathy Griffin, Bill Maher usually avoids direct conflict. Even when Kathy claimed, I give the planet 7 years, you can tell Maher was thinking, I wish they'd stop with these dramatic predictions. He didn't directly challenge her, likely because many of his viewers are climate alarmists who agree with her. Maher knows his audience includes a lot of woke viewers, people who love the fear-mongering and the authoritarian mindset behind it. That's why he subtly pushes back instead of going full force. But seriously, what does Griffin think will happen in 7 years? Does the Earth explode? Collapse? I'd love to hear her logic. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Do you agree with Griffin, or do you think Maher's quiet skepticism says it all?
James Hansen, the NASA guy, was like, if we don't completely reverse what we're doing in 10 years, it's too late. Well, it's like 13 years past that deadline, and they're still saying it's not too late, because you can't ever say it's too late.
Yeah.
It possibly is too late. We possibly already cast the dice, but we don't know. So 7 years, I wouldn't take that bet, but it should be on the table.
Yeah.
That's so.
Now, as you travel the country, you are like, I remember it's been so long since I toured America, 6 years. I'm sorry, 5 years. But I remember, like, I think it was an Indiana gig I would play once a year, and I'd pass the one barn with the Confederate flag on the roof. That was one place. And I could always open with that story. Oh, you guys still let that guy live here? I've been
Right.
you know. So what do you make of the MAGAs that live in the areas maybe most impacted by climate change, and they are still in their denial, and why? When you're a farmer, when your job depends on the weather.
Well, first of all, they're not all in denial. I mean, there is plenty of farmers who are on that page. I mean, they're not idiots necessarily. But the other reasons why I think people are sort of in the dark about global warming, sometimes it just, if they're in their own news silos, it doesn't get on their radar.
I'm not trying to make bold claims without solid proof, so I need someone in the comments to help out. Because honestly, I'm not entirely sure. Yes, humans can impact the climate, but as one person, I doubt I can slow it down or speed it up. If what Kathy Griffin says is true, that we've only got 7 years, then what's the point of all the panic? I do believe climate change is real, but I'd love to know if there's solid scientific proof that humans are entirely to blame. The Earth's climate has always changed. Tornado Alley has reportedly shifted south, and down here, we just had a full-on blizzard. Craziest snow I've ever seen. Clearly something's changing. But is it all on us?
An issue. It's not like an issue they disagree with. It just really doesn't exist, except to sometimes have debunkers on. And there are reasonable people like Bjorn Lornberg, who is, somebody I think maybe MSNBC won't have him on. And he's not a crazy person, but he has a different view of what's going on with the climate. He doesn't deny that this is happening. He's being just more measured about it. I don't agree with everything he says, but I listen to him and he's not crazy. That kind of person, we don't allow that kind of person.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Anymore. You have to be all in on what your team is doing.
Yeah.
So on Fox News, they don't hear about global warming.
Yeah.
And then they also are religious. I remember the Oklahoma Senator Jim Imhoff once said, he's the guy who brought a snowball into Congress once to prove that global warming was false, that you can't write this shit.
Yeah.
And he said his idea about global warming was, yeah, God's still up there. Okay, you can't argue with God still up there.
Yeah.
It's just not on it. You're playing tennis and I'm playing soccer on a different field.
Right.
And so it's just not, and it's,
But that's what I wonder how, I don't mean any farmers in those regions. I mean, if you're a MAGA person and you're a farmer, how do you reconcile what your eyes and ears see in front of you and what your...
Okay, but what do your eyes and ears see in front of you? They see the same world as it's always been. Yes, sometimes...
More floods, water's rising.
But you know what? Floods do come and go. And floods have been here forever. It's in the Bible. So, how much of that is global warming? My view would be some. There are souped up conditions that create more or blah, blah, blah. But we were going apoplectic here in California for a very long time because it never rained. And then what happened this year? It fucking rained until the people here were saying, good God, would it stop raining?
Right.
And in one month-long period, we kind of got out of the drought emergency.
No, because we don't have the ability to capture it.
No, that would make...
However, I don't believe that has anything to do with the climate. That has nothing to do with Earth's climate. Climate change, or natural climate change, is what Bill Maher is talking about. In my opinion, at least, climate change is a natural phenomenon. As in, the rain will come and go, the earthquakes will come and go, the tornadoes will come and go, the tornado alley will shift, and so on, right? Like what I'm referring to. If there is any concrete scientific proof that humans are responsible for this development, I would be very interested in knowing. For example, do people cause rain in California? According to Kathy Griffin, humans may have the potential to influence the water's ability to be captured. To be honest, though, I believe Bill Maher's theory to be accurate regarding the Earth's actual climate.
In them, then the LA River is actually a river again. I mean, what I'm saying is, it's partly cyclical, and this shit has always gone on, and that's what a farmer sees. And there is an element of global warming changing things. But since it's basically the same shit, the sun comes out, it's not like the seasons have ended. It rains, it doesn't rain, there's good, there's bad. This is farmer's life, is like, oh, I hope it rains this year. Oh, I hope it's a good harvest. This is one reason they started religion. So you could pray to somebody and say, for fuck's sake, would you make the corn grow? Because we got to make soda.
Right.
Oh, wait, we don't make soda yet. We're ancient people.
But still, that's a reason to have a deity, to pray for crops.
Exactly.
And by the way, I was shocked. Well, I should say even I'm a Chicagoan. I didn't know how much of the hate that was coming toward me was also made lots of Jesus tie-ins.
I'm not sure if religion started just to pray for crops. Maybe some ancient ones did. But I think Christianity probably began because People witnessed miracles, healings, and someone rising from the dead. That's a lot more convincing than a drought. Anyway, let's talk about Bill Maher and Kathy Griffin on the Club Random podcast. Kathy went way overboard with her climate change panic, and you could see Bill holding back. He clearly wanted to push back harder, but didn't want to alienate his woke fan base. You can tell it's bubbling up inside him. He's just trying not to snap. Let me know in the comments what you think about this wild exchange between Bill Maher and Kathy Griffin.